What's good, viewers? Welcome back to Cars with Ben, and today I'm going to make a quick video to talk about Gran Turismo 7 and PlayStation 5. Obviously, last night was the major reveal of the price, and a few games that we've already seen, but some new games as well. And I really wanted to just talk about why I am going to be a channel that hopefully I can make an impact on, and this is going to be sort of a bit of a background gameplay, and also just talk about Gran Turismo and the PlayStation, really, so it's a bit of a mix. So enjoy this background gameplay of me on a Ford GT, in a Ford GT on Goodwood. So yeah, just thought it'd be a nice little gameplay. Obviously, I really want to make some good gameplay going forward, and I kind of want to talk about Gran Turismo 7. So once that game comes out, I am going to be doing a lot of videos on it. Hopefully I've got a lot planned, if I can get a PS5 of course, for the date, and I'm just generally looking forward to it and hoping that. So I just want to talk about Gran Turismo really, because it's going to look, from what we've seen, obviously it's going to look very similar to Gran Turismo Sport, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of differences. I think in subtle ways there'll be changes, but most of the game will be similar. Hopefully they'll add a few new tracks. I kind of want to talk about really what I expect to see. Firstly, I think it's just, let's just admit now that it was fantastic that we had all the free content, and I hope that continues in Gran Turismo 7, and that was my number one thing. So hopefully, if you guys agree, let me know. Number one is the free content. I think that would be fantastic, and it would just make the game still just a great game for me. That's what made this game so amazing for me this last decade. Sorry, Gran Turismo has been fantastic on PS4, and I wish it could do that going forward. Number two, I'd really like to see a bit more cars added. Obviously, I think there was a lot of choice this time around, a fantastic amount of choice. But you know, in terms of, you've got 20 Ferraris, you've only got one Fiat. I'd quite like to see, or one or two Fiats maybe. I'd like to see the variation in the brands, and that for me would be major. I'm sure you can agree there were still many cars that could have been added every time I thought about it. Every month they only added a few, 2 or 3 here or there, 3, 4, 5. So it depended on what month it was, but that was obviously something I wanted to see change. And of course, I wanted to have updates for new tracks. They didn't add as many as I like. So number 3, going forward, I'd like to see more tracks in Gran Turismo 7. And also, I'd just really like to point out, this gameplay does look fantastic, even now. I think it's going to look very similar. It's going to be hard to top it on Gran Turismo 7. But yeah, number 4, I would like, and I don't know if anyone else agrees with me here, the haptic feedback in the new controls, I would really like to see be adapted into Gran Turismo 7, and I think they've already said that. I'm pretty sure they have. But I'm really excited to see how they're going to do it, and I'm interested to see if it's going to change over time. Will that still require, will it be a bit more like a steering wheel? I'm sure it will never replace the steering wheel, but that would be excellent if it did. Also, you just know here, the freeway duel that's going on with Ford GTs and the Ferraris, classic Le Mans style. Really enjoyed this gameplay. But yeah, back to the talk. That would be sort of my 4 things so far. And I think I'd like to just see a bit more different levels of online. So you've got ranked, unranked. I think you should have like a beginner section, because it is difficult. They should really have a serious beginner section, I think, for people who want to play online. But really, I think Gran Turismo Sport was a game that was already perfect, so it's really hard to perfect on something that was great. And that is really what I wanted to see, as well I talk about in this video today. Alongside the fact that obviously we've now seen the prices, 270 I think, and 450, something like that. It might be a bit more. Cheapest one being the digital, the more expensive being the disc. And I would really like to see, I think, obviously, my opinion, I'm going to get the disc, because I think in the long run it's going to be cheaper. Definitely, guys, if you are wanting to get discs, it's going to be more expensive on digital. So obviously digital, in my opinion, is good if you don't play it much, but if you're going to be a serious gamer, disc is probably the way to go still. Simply because digital will cost you more, and then you won't be able to borrow games as well. So that is something I'd really like to see. Look at this freeway duel here. It was going quite well. Really enjoyed this part of the game. Got part of the gameplay. But obviously going forward, you know, I think the PS5 will actually have leaps and bounds. It'll still be fantastic. It'll look fantastic, and I'm just really looking forward to the upgrades. You know, I think there's a lot to go off, so it will. You know, there's a lot of game. I'm hoping Gran Turismo 7 will be my game going forward for YouTube. I'm hoping it will. You know, this is going to be a big statement here. I'm hoping it's going to push my YouTube channel. I really do. I want to do hints, tips, tricks, gameplay, literally anything to do with it going forward. I'm sure there'll be more car games going forward as well. But that is something that we'll have to see in time. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Gran Turismo and next generation, Gran Turismo 7, the next generation, and the PS5 in general. And also something I really want to touch upon this year is I have not had an Xbox One for the last generation generally, and I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I may get the cheaper one and then possibly play Forza on the cheaper one, because really I won't be using it very much, unlike what I will be to the PlayStation, because that's where my friends are, that's where I really enjoy the series gaming. So exclusive wise, it'll obviously just be for the Xbox, if that. Obviously I'll use it for car games, and it all depends how my channel's going to go. So I'm really excited for the next gen, and hopefully that you are too. I hope you will still continue to watch my channel for car games. Recently I've had not a lot of content. There really has not been a lot, obviously, since they stopped with GTA recently. They've stopped with Gran Turismo. Wreckfest I haven't played as much. Need for Speed has kind of died a little bit. So I think we're in this sort of drought transition period in terms of gaming. Well, for me personally, and maybe others, where there isn't a whole lot of new content. But I'm going to start and carry on with Gran Turismo, because that's sort of been my background game, and I love it. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like rating. I am planning to do a real life car video very soon, so please stay tuned to that. It will be finally a real video and not a gaming video for one. But if you did like this video, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I've been CarsWithBen.